Hey, what's up, YouTube? Okay, so here in upstate New York, we have a really short growing season, at least the mountains of upstate New York. And I wanted to go ahead and try and get as much of a jump as I could. In fact, yesterday it was actually snowing, but not very much, and today it's warmed up. But anyway, I saw a couple vids online of people who were taking some seeds, sprouting them, then planting them into small little containers, letting them get going as seedlings, and then transferring them to the garden. So I figured, okay, let me try and do this. And the method that I was going to use, what you're looking at here, is I took a paper towel, put my seeds on the towel, folded the towel up, dampened the towel, put it in a plastic bag, and the idea is that they sprout and they grow sort of right through the paper towel. And I believe you can actually tear off the piece of paper towel. You don't actually have to tear the sprouted seed out, and you just plant the whole little paper towel and seed and everything. So in any case, this was the theory. Now I went ahead and did this, and what you're seeing, the paper towels in the middle of this bag, and you see all that red around there. What I did is I dabbed one side of it in the corners with red food coloring, and the reason why I did that was because I had a whole bunch of different tomato seeds that I put in this paper towel. These are all tomato seeds, but different varieties. And I had a little chart, and rather than write, on individual seeds in the paper towel, I just figured I'd mark the corners, and then I would have a chart, and I'd know, for reference. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that once the thing got wet and damp, the food coloring was going to run all over the place, and I could still tell, what's what, but it just looks like a mess. But anyways, it's totally normal and, whatever. Okay, so I set this up, took the bag, sealed it up, everything looked good, and I left this, basically I left it on top of the fridge, and I figured the top of the fridge was a little bit warm, and that's where it would be a good place for it. Some seeds need dark to germinate, and some seeds need sunlight to germinate, and quite frankly, since there was a variety of different tomato seeds here, I wasn't really sure which way to go. Now here's the thing. This sat for about 4 or 5 days without anything happening at all. Nothing. And I was like, wow, this is an epic fail. I did switch it a couple times. I put it at the windowsill to give it some light, whatever, a day or two like that. No change. This thing was just totally not working. And then I thought to myself, well, maybe it's a temperature issue. Maybe it's because my house it has been kind of cool recently, and it can fluctuate in different rooms or whatever, right? So I'm like, okay. And I started thinking to myself, where can I put this? It turns out on top of my fridge really wasn't that warm. I guess I have my freezer box set too low or whatever. But I was thinking to myself, where can I put these seeds in the house that would be like the warmest spot? Now, back in the day, if you used to go snowboarding or skiing, or even if you're just out in the rain and you got like your feet all wet and you had wet socks, the best way to dry off your wet socks was to wring them out and put them on the back of your big screen TV or your giant CRT monitors. You guys remember those? You're old enough to remember? I know most people remember them, but like, can you really remember them? Can you really remember how hot they got? You could like fry eggs on those things. And they really were. As long as your socks weren't dripping, you'd put those on the back of your monitor, and within 15-20 minutes they were dry as can be. But unfortunately, these days monitors are all flat screen, and you can't do that. It just doesn't work. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, well, where can I put these seeds where it would be nice and warm, and see if that helps them out. Okay, so after racking my brain for quite some time, I came up with this. Can you guess what it is? It's warming up my hand just putting the camera over it. Ta-da! The old stereo. That's right. Stereos usually run pretty hot, and not that it's good to keep those air vents covered very long, but whatever. Gotta warm up your seeds, you gotta warm up your seeds. So that's what I did. I took the little bag in this thing, just threw it on the stereo, and left it there. And guess what? It worked. Okay, so after a couple of days sitting on the stereo where it's warm, you can see there is a little bit of action. I know this camera doesn't zoom in too great on the small stuff. Now most of these seeds did not germinate, they didn't sprout, but some of them did. I'd say maybe 15-20%. And only a couple of them actually look green and pretty healthy. Even the other ones that sprouted, they look kind of brownish and not too great. So I'm going to pull some of these guys off, and I'm going to hopefully get some of these in a little soil and salvage a couple of them, hopefully. I went ahead and planted the different tomato seeds that I could salvage, the ones that sprouted off of that paper towel. I got some brandywine tomatoes, some beefsteak tomatoes, some crimson sprinters, and these are the what do I want to say, Polish linguiça? Does that sound right? I gotta double check. And you can see that I'm just starting these guys off in like used containers. These guys were 2-liter water containers I just cut up and potholes in all the bottom. It's actually supposed to get to around 20 degrees tonight, so I'm going to bring these in right now, but I figured I'd give you guys a little look. And got about 3 to 5 seeds in each of these, so maybe like 12 to 20 seeds I planted, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if they grow or if they didn't make it. Later, YouTube.
Attack of the killer tomatoes! Attack of the killer tomatoes! They'll beat you, bash you, squish you, mash you, chew you up for brunch, and finish you off for dinner or lunch.